Sequentially means one after another one. Okay, like when you are going to declare a variable, it stores in a single location. But what array guarantees you that when you are going to declare an array, it's going to store items one by one, it's one after another one. For instance, if you store the first item on place number 0, you can be assured it's going to place the second one in 1, third one in 2, and the remaining one in third. So it's going to sequential storage. Okay. So we have here an array. We are going to go very quick. So we have here an array, and we can see how you declare an array. Array, first we have the type of the array. Okay, what is the type of the array? The name of the array and the dimensions, how many blocks you want the array to be stored. For instance, we have int a10, that means, okay, it's an integer type array, that means you are going to store only integers. The name of the array is a, and the storage locations, you need 10 storage location. Okay, but there's one thing to remember, array starts from 0. So it should be a0, a1, a2, a3, a4, a5, a6, a7, a8 and a9. So that's where it is going to be. So starts from 0 and it ends at 9. These are the 10 elements the array gets saved. So when you're going to see this 10, that means you are looking for 10 storage. Okay. Same thing is a float array C5, that means it has the capability of storing 5 elements, okay, in a floating range. This is a character array name 40, that means it has the capability of storing 40 names in an array. And you can see over here, this is the sequential storage. A0 is this one, or Billy 0, actually this name of the array is Billy. Billy 0 is the first array, Billy 1, Billy 2, Billy 3, Billy 4, all these are sequential storage. Okay. So we are going to go to the next slide and see there are 3 types of array. All right, you can have a single dimensional array, 2-dimensional array and multi-dimensional array. As you go through more over here, it gets more complex. So we are going to go through a single dimensional, 2-dimensional, and we might look at one multi-dimensional array. Okay. So let's look at a single dimensional array. This is an example 7.1 for C4 contest book. Okay, one of the examples. So what this problem does, it takes a mark. Okay, it has a float average sum, it equals to 0. That means it takes a mark 10 marks. So it's going to 10 marks of a student grades. All right, and I guess it's going to then average the marks. Okay, so we have declared an array int marks and 10 elements. That means we can store here 10 student grades 0 to 9. Okay, remember array starts from 0, ends at 9. So but when we declare an array, we write here 10. All right, so we have a for loop in control structure. We have already looked at this before. I starts at 0, I is equal to less than 9. This is very important. Okay, because if you write here 10, this array is going to overflow, because I starts at 0 and ends at 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's a 10 elements. I plus plus. Okay. So now we are going to print an array. So we say enter marks, and we are going to read array in every single mark. So every single time we read an array, okay, we are going to put that array into the, we can put the mark into that array. That means, for instance, for mark 0, the first element will go to the mark 0, second element will go to mark 1, third element will go to mark 2. See, it will keep on going till mark 9. As soon as it goes to 9, I plus plus will make it 10. So from 0 to 9, all the marks will be entered here sequentially 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. So as a user puts the input over here, it enters the value sequentially. Now here, after entering the input, we want to get the output of it. So in order to get an output of it, we again run the same array with following the same parameters, and then we say sum equal to sum plus marks I. So sum, initially the sum is equal to 0. So starts from 0, then adds the mark and keeps on adding value, and once it keeps on adding value, so the total sum comes over here. So this is the problem. At the end of this for loop, this sum will be the total. Okay, all right. So after this for loop ends up, then we have an average. So we take the sum and we divide it by 10, because we know there are 10 elements over here, and we print the output as a floating point number average. So you can see the output over here, pretty much clear. Enter marks 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, and the average is 62.5. Okay. So it's a very easy problem. You know, we have almost 10 and 20 related examples like that in the book, which I highly recommend you take a look at it. Next is a 2D array. You know, it's one of the very, especially whenever you use matrix, you need this array a lot. You need this use of this array is a lot. So same concept. If you want to declare an array, previously we have for single array we have used only a and one brace, third and use 3. But this time, since we are using 2D array, 2 dimensions, so we are going to use 2 braces, and inside these 2 braces we are going to put the values that we are going to do. That means it's almost like an x-axis. The x-axis you have 3 rows, and y-axis you have 3 columns. So this is 3 rows and 3 columns. So now from 1D we are going to the 2D. That's why this array is also very important, because whenever you are dealing with 2-dimensional stuff, okay, all right, you are 2-dimensional input or 2-dimensional, you need this array a lot. So okay, so row 3 0 1 2 3 and column 3 0 1 2 3. So this is how this array is declared. So if you look at an example again, okay, this is a very simple example. As I mentioned, due to lack of time, we are going to just put this simple example over here. So this is the probably the simplest example that I am going to put in here. But if you go through the book has more details example, more complex examples, okay, that would gradually try to develop your programming skills one by one. You can see over here we have a main program. Okay, what this program does, it takes the marks of every single student, okay, and just prints out in 2D array. Okay, so that means it takes the marks of first student, second, 4 marks, and then prints out the students list. Okay, all right. Roll, you can think of ID number or a list of students and their marks 1 2 3 4. Okay, sequentially. So you declare student array start 4 and 2. That means you will have 4 rows and 2 columns. That means you have 4 on the x-axis and 2 in the y-axis. You have I and j. Okay, since we are going to loop through this array, we need 2 variables I and j. So we say for I goes to 0, I goes to less than 3, I plus plus. That means you have I initialized at 3 0. Okay, limit is 3 and increment is plus plus. So you are going to go through the rows 0 1 2 3. Okay, as you go through those rows, what you are going to do, you are going to output enter roll number and marks. As you are going to read 2 variables, one is the roll number, okay, and another one is the marks. Okay, all right. So here you can see over here you have the roll number over here and you have the marks over here. Okay, and this one takes what? You can see this I 0, that means if I is 0 and this is 0, this will be 0 0 and this will be 0 1. Okay, gradually it will go again after on the next increment, this will be then 1 0. Okay, this will be 1 1. This is how this array is going to go through each of the row and then falling through each of the columns. Okay, so now we are going to print the array. So if you want to print the array, same concept, I goes to 0, I goes less than 3, I plus plus, then you have the printf, you take 2 integer values, and the first one is the row and the second one is the roll number and second one is the column number. Okay, so you enter roll number, you enter 1, this is the roll number, this is the marks, roll number, marks. So this one goes to this array here and this one goes to the second one. So keeps on going 2 15, that means 1 goes to I0 and 1 0 0 0. This one is 0 1. This one goes to 1 0 1 1 2 0 2 1 3 0 3 1. Okay, and here it prints out the whole thing.